Meredith Gorman here, and are you still not subscribed to Matt's channel? Well, if you're not, hit the subscribe button because he's giving out free picks each and every week. Hope you have a good rest of your day.
We are back, guys. UFC Fight Night, Allen versus Costa, back at the Apex in Las Vegas. Fun main event, I guess, but the card in general is fairly weak. But again, we are used to this when the fights are at the Apex. The cards are watered down, at least on paper. Sometimes we do get some good fights out of these cards. We'll look at the main card like always, guys. Provide free picks, leans, price talk. We'll talk value. We'll talk fades and more. Link.me/system capping for everything. Myself, website, articles, socials, resume, records, comments, and more. Currently handicapping the UFC, of course, the PGA market. You can catch my PGA podcast, only available on audio on Spotify and Apple every Tuesday. I break down the event for that week. And also currently handicapping the NHL. And the NHL has actually been the hottest sport for me the past few weeks. 7-1 in the NHL playoffs. Been very successful. They're just picking spots. That's how you got to bet NHL. If you bet NHL every day, again, you're not going to find value, but this is a grind, right? I'm able to pick spots in certain sports at times. NHL has been very profitable. Like this video, guys, if you are watching on YouTube, subscribe to the channel as well. It does help out a ton. Bunch of content every week. We're going to have World Cup preview very soon. Obviously, NFL. A lot of guys found me through the NFL and I realized I'm not just a one-hit wonder. We could talk many sports. Obviously, UFC, PGA, NHL, and the NFL are the main focuses over here. Listeners on Spotify and Apple, please review and share. It is much appreciated. UFC 328 recap. Wow, is all I can say. It actually happened. Strickland beat Chimaev. Something I just didn't see coming. I said in the podcast last week that Strickland wins this fight 1 out of 10 times. Was this the one time? No. I still think Chimaev won the fight, guys. It was a split decision. I had Chimaev more, bringing the fight more, landing the bigger shots, maybe not as clean, right? Strickland, a lot of jabs he landed. I get it. But Chimaev did break his nose. He was able to get 9 takedowns. And listen, I'm not saying Chimaev fought a good fight. I think that we expected so much more that those two judges just gave it to Strickland due to that. Now, again, the jabs were landing, of course, but basically Strickland won due to his jab and not being taken down and held down. Now, he was taken down 9 times, just never was held down. And I did mention that I thought Strickland would not get held down, but I expected more from round 1 throughout the fight. Remember round 1, Chimaev won cleanly. Was able to get takedown, was able to control him. That's what I expected more in the fight. Then in round 2, he kind of like just gassed. It was very strange. And Strickland got on top of him, which was very mind-boggling. Then Chimaev, 3, 4, 5 was a little better. I thought he won 3-2. But hey, I'm not sitting here and saying it's a robbery. Some people will be saying that. I don't agree with that. I just thought Chimaev won 3-2. One other judge thought that. A lot of people thought that. But hey, and I also do look at it as you have to really clearly beat the champion, right? When fights are close, you got to look back at it and say, did he really dominantly or did he clearly beat Chimaev? Obviously not. So that's what I thought. A lot of people thought. And I had a decision Chimaev bet plus 330. I mentioned to you guys, this fight's probably going to go to decision. Strickland's very difficult to finish. And obviously, Strickland wasn't finishing Chimaev. That was never the path, right? Strickland only path was to win by decision. So if you did bet Strickland, hopefully you bet him by decision to improve that price. Just unreal. You know, Sean Strickland has screwed me on a few bets now. Obviously, Chimaev, I had Chimaev in multiple bets, right? I had him in a parlay on the money line. I had him plus 330 by decision. got screwed there, in my opinion. He beat Izzy as a plus 500 underdog. He beat Hernandez plus 260, is a little lower. And then here, a plus 400. Unbelievable. And I have underestimated Sean Strickland multiple times. I'm the first one to admit it. I'm not going to sit here and say otherwise. Even though I believe Chimaev won that fight, Chimaev did not put on a performance that we all expected him to, and it backfired. Anytime you go to the judges, anything can happen. And the jab won Sean Strickland the fight. Wild. So yeah, that ruined the card for me. Back-to-back main events we have been on the wrong side of. Josh Van was the bet at plus 145. Hopefully you tailed that in the co-main. Josh Van was going to win that fight. I liked them on that side. Plus 145, definitely value on that side. That was a value bet last week on the podcast. I didn't expect a fifth round finish, but if it went to 4 or 5, then would be live there. I probably would have had more of the decision, and it was going there until late stoppage. Hats off to Tyra. Very durable. Showed he's a fan. I'm a fan of him now. A lot of people are fans of him after that performance. Just very durable. He wouldn't go away. It was very impressive. And Van's boxing is just incredible. Was able to do enough on the ground, not get submitted. A couple times he was in tough spots, guys. He just would not get submitted. So hats off to Van there. That was the play if you were going to bet a side. Hopefully you did tail that. Volkov and Costa. I bet the over 2.5 rounds that got there. For me, we did hit a distance over 2.5 round distance parlay. That cash for me, I think it was plus 100 I got it at. Both hit. But again, Chimaev ruined the card. But yeah, Volkov and Acosta over 2.5. I did like both these heavyweights. Both heavyweights are really known. Even though Acosta has been finding some knockouts as of late, these guys have gone the distance multiple times in their fights. I expected more of a slower fight, picking spots, a lot of kicks. Some of them, for a heavyweight fight, I think it was the most kicks I've seen. And Volkov stole it. I think it could have went either way. Volkov, I guess, maybe landed the bigger shot. I think he landed more kicks as well. So I'm not really mad about it. I thought it could have gone either way, but Volkov gets it done. Acosta's winning streak is ended. A flip of a coin who won that fight, in my opinion. But nice to see Volkov find a way, and he's not far from a title shot, Volkov. He is right there. Sean Brady was the podcast play. I didn't bet it, though. Some line movement scared me. I don't know if you guys heard. Buckley got in. Buckley was like plus 145, 150 when we were talking about it on the podcast. It flipped. Buckley went up all the way to like minus 220. Must have got a lot of action in on Buckley. Not too sure why. I thought maybe it could be injury Brady. Even UFC called Brady to say, is everything okay? So it looks like some, big bets came in on Buckley, and that guy was not smart. He should have listened to the podcast, right? I didn't bet it because it was more of does Sean Brady keep Buckley down on the ground, and does he not get clipped with the big shot? Buckley was live to clip Brady with the big shot. However, he wasn't able to hold off the wrestling. Brady watched the Usman fight, and that's what Brady's really good at. If he can get the fight down to the ground, he can keep you there, and that's what he did. Just out-grappled Buckley. Buckley's takedown defense and grappling is very poor, and it showed there. Nice win for Sean Brady after a couple bad losses. When he stepped up in competition. King Green gets it done as expected in the main card opener by submission, which was not expected, right? King Green by decision. I had a small unit on that. Wins the fight, doesn't win by decision. Let's get into this card, guys. Let's get back on track here after a couple, more main events. I've been hitting other plays on the card, just the main events we've been missing out. And this is not an easy main event to handicap, guys. Arnold Allen, minus 135 versus Costa, plus 115. We'll break it down here. Again, not an easy fight to handicap. Interesting fight. Could be a good fight. Just tough to predict. You know, Costa has been fighting well on a 6-fight win streak. And he's not beating up just bums, right? Sometimes you go on these long win streaks, and who is he really beating? He has a win over Feely, good win. Christian Rodriguez, good win. Cherrier, he knocked out. And last time out, Dan Ige, he finished in the first round. No one has ever finished Dan Ige. Step up for Costa, though, here with Allen. Allen's been there, done that, fought some of the best guys, right? So Allen, big resume advantage here. Now, when he has stepped up in competition against the best guys, he's lost. Keep that in mind. So you looked at, Allen's fought guys like, Jean Silva, he lost. Evoliv, lost. Max Holloway, lost. Of course. Those are the best of the best. And his wins are more mid-tier. He doesn't really have a big-time win. Wins over Giga Chikadze, Calvin Kattar, Dan Hooker, Yusuf. Mid-tier guys. Best win out of that, I guess you would say, is Hooker. And it's a mid-tier guy. So he doesn't have that top-end win. He's fought those guys, but never got that big-time win. This is a 5-round fight, guys. Keep that in mind. We haven't seen Costa go deep in the fights, and I have seen Costa when I back, even remembering, but I also went back and looked at a couple fights of his. He gassed in a couple of them later in the fight. So keep that in mind. Arnold Allen, we're not going to have to worry about that. Allen's problems, low volume. Low volume, guys. Just under 4 significant strikes per minute. Costa's just under 5. So he has a little slight advantage there in the volume in the striking. Allen's resume advantage. Going deeper in the fights, better cardio. And can Costa get that first round finish or early finish? And I would say no, we haven't seen it, right? Now, we haven't seen it with Dan Ige. Allen, right? Costa was able to get it. Is Allen going to be finished for the first time in his career? That would be wild. Imagine he finishes Dan Ige, never been finished. And then he finishes Arnold Allen, never been finished. Wow. Right? Costa's going to be the real deal. I'm not really sold on him that as of yet. Now, I think he's a good fighter. I'm just not as sold as he's a top tier guy yet. He could prove it here and prove me wrong. That's what I'm waiting for, right? And that's why I can't get to a client play on a side here. Allen is very hittable. You could hit him. But can Costa put his lights out? We've seen Allen get beat up badly at times with some big shots, and he just hangs in there. So I haven't seen it yet. So because I haven't seen it yet, I can't bet it or bet against it. And there's not enough value there at Costa plus 115. If you want to shop around, try to find a KO, get a good price, small unit, go for it. If you're just taking a shot or you're taking a chance, more of a chance for a smaller unit, that's okay. It's just Arnold Allen hasn't shown me that he could get knocked out. Win this fight, very tough, guys. Very tough. Will Allen maybe try to mix in some wrestling? He hasn't done it recently. He does have some decent wrestling in his back pocket. And you could take down Costa at 58%. Will Allen try to make this MMA fight and not just stand and bang, be a close fight, close war, who wins at the end of the day? You leave it into the judges' scorecards. So I'll be staying away from a side here. I'm always straightforward with you guys. Don't force fights. Don't force volume. If you're going to flip a coin, don't bet the fight. Again, don't see Allen finishing the fight. I think if he wins, it'll probably be by decision. Maybe because Costa slowed down in the later rounds. We haven't seen Costa fight 5 rounds. He has gassed in some fights. Not all fights, a couple fights that went 3 rounds. Costa wants that early finish. And due to that, I haven't seen Allen get knocked out. I don't think that early finish comes. So I'm going to lean Allen here for podcast purposes, not betting it personally. But I like to give out a play as a lean. You can maybe get on the over in rounds if you like Allen. But if Costa gets another knockout, the guy that's never been knocked out, tip my cap. I'll be excited to watch this fight, though. Co-main, Santos minus 170 versus Choi plus 145. This could be a fun fight. Santos, 4-fight win streak. Choi, 2 fights. Choi, though, hasn't fought since 2024. I'm hearing because in Korea, you have to join the army, military, whatever they call it there. So I think that's why, to be honest. So tough spot for him, right? To come back off a 2-year layoff. How much has he been training? I'm sure he's been training, guys, but you know what I mean. Santos been looking good. Fights at a shooter box with Charles Oliveira's team. High energy guy, fairly well rounded. Only way I can look would be Santos here. He'll use his wrestling, guys, over 3 takedowns per fight. And Troy can be taken down. 47% takedown defense, guys. So don't just stand and bang with him. Bring him down to the ground. Maybe look for a submission or just some control time. Win the fight there with the grappling and wrestling. That 40% takedown defense is very concerning. It's some of the lowest you're going to see. So Santos has to be the play here. Wellmaker minus 280 versus Diaz plus 230. Inflated price, right? We've seen what happened with Wellmaker last time. Not as good as we expected. Now, Ewing, tip my cap to him. He's back-to-back big wins. He's a big-time prospect, Ewing. Scrappy guy, durable, will come forward. Wellmaker's more of a athletic guy, good striker, power on the feet, looks for that big shot. Diaz coming into this fight on short notice. Debut. I just can't get there, right, with Diaz. Even though, the plus 230 is tempting and the Wellmaker minus 280, I don't love. But I expect Wellmaker to win this fight. I think he's the better striker, more technical. Diaz will like to come forward. Peruvian guy, so he's durable. Never been knocked out, though. Keep that in mind. I just think he's more skilled, Wellmaker. Hard to bet this price when we saw what happened last time, though. If the fight got scrappy, which Diaz, I believe, could bring a scrappy type of mentality fight, he could steal it. That's why I'm not sold on this Wellmaker minus 280 price. We've seen when the fight gets scrappy and when it gets into a brawl, Ewing was able to bring that. He lost the fight. Can Diaz do the same thing now? I don't think Diaz is at Ewing's level. I think Wellmaker's a better all-around fighter. I think he wins the fight. Just very difficult to bet. Sure, you can improve it with a finish prop. But again, I haven't seen Diaz finish. He seems very durable. Can you count on Wellmaker to get the finish here? Should get it done. Not sold on an outcome here on Wellmaker. Bukauskas minus 330 versus Edwards plus 265. Another red flag fight. Edwards taking this on short notice, which means Bukauskas also opponents on short notice. Edwards, I think, is moving up in weight, possibly as well. This is just obviously I'm leaning Bukauskas minus 330. Edwards, 8-4. Debut. He's been fighting at Bellator previously. Don't think he's in great shape coming into this fight, but he had to take it. He had to take it when the UFC calls. You got to take it even though you're not in great shape. Bukauskas should be in good shape here. I think he wins this fight 8 out of 10 times, maybe 9. So, I can't bet it at minus 330. It opened up at 260. That you could have fit into a 2-fight parlay. Here, you're going to be kind of scrambling around at minus 330. If you can get into a 2-fight parlay, pull the trigger if you can get plus money at the other side. But, again, red flagged with the short notice fight. I don't love to invest highly when, there's question marks. And there's question marks here. Bukauskas also coming off a loss. However, it was against Krylov. He did get finished in that fight. That is a little concerning. But this is just a big step down from what Bukauskas has been fighting. He had some nice wins in that streak. Now you're getting a guy in his debut, not in great shape, 8-4. It's a clear path for Bukauskas to win this fight. He's going to have to lose this fight. Get caught or something, right? Which could happen, of course. But he would be the play here. If you can get creative, try to get into a 2-fight parlay, I would suggest that. Outcome, lean the finish. So you can prove the price there. Last fight we'll talk about here, guys. Sopai minus 155 versus Kuamba plus 130. Battle between two younger guys here. You know, Kuamba trains in Vegas out of Extreme Couture. Like to see that. He was getting good work there, good training partners. Sopai, though, you know, fighting out of All-Stars in Sweden. We're familiar with that. 1-on-1 in the UFC with a tough loss in KO versus Vincent Oliveira. He actually was, I went back and watched that fight. He actually was fighting well until he got caught. Oliveira, we know how good he is. Big time fighter. Great striker, Sopai. Good striker, more one-dimensional. He's more of a striker than, you know, a wrestler grappler. But looking at both their stats here, I don't believe there's going to be an advantage for anyone with the wrestling and grappling with the takedown. So if this fight stays standing, I lean Sopai. But at 155, you know, I have this fight when I did my lines. You know, I do my lines. I give them out to you guys sometimes. I had Sopai as a slight favorite at minus 120. It's a tough fight to handicap. It's a tough fight to call, right? We could see a close decision, split type of decision. Like the over in rounds. You can bet the over in rounds here. Lean Sopai. Not excited about it. Fought the better guys. Obviously, Vincent Oliveira, like I said, he looked good at times in that fight until he got caught. So Sopai will be the play. Not excited about it. Look like I like the over as well in that fight. That'll do it for this card, guys. I will mention the MVP card. I know I had a couple people reach out to me and ask about it. Just not a lot of value to bet it. Not a betting card. I'll be watching it. I have multiple TVs, of course, in my setup. So I'll have both fights on, both cards on. It's on Netflix, guys, if you guys are unaware. So if you have a Netflix, you don't have to buy it as a pay-per-view. You just have to have the subscription. So that's great. I probably still would have bought it, but right, we got Francis minus 1,700 favor versus Lens. You can't bet it. Even if you get a knockout, you're paying a huge price. Perry and Diaz, you know, Diaz plus 150, Perry minus 205. You could bet Perry. I think he wins. He's more active. Been in the bigger fights lately. Diaz just hasn't been fighting. So I lean Perry there in that fight. And then the main event, Ronda Rousey. Minus 650, just wild. Wild. Even though I do favor her to win the fight. Just, both girls just haven't been fighting. It's just hard to handicap. How do they come back and fight? You don't know. So I'll be staying away from this card from a betting standpoint, but I will have it on. That will do it, guys. That will do it. Enjoy these cards. Enjoy the major. I'll be busy watching golf this weekend. That will be the main focus. Like I always say, guys, bet smart and know your limits. Enjoy these fights.